The welding of the excavator undercarriage is finished. Now it's ready to be painted. Absolute precision is demanded, despite temperatures of 40 degrees Celsius. The tolerances for the paint job lie in the micrometer range. The Lingang Excavator Factory. Built from scratch in just 12 months. When operating at full capacity, Sany could theoretically produce 40,000 excavators here each year. Transport from one station to the next, seamlessly designed. The welded parts are conveyed directly to the paint shop via an automatic aerial cableway, increasing speed and productivity. It's like renovating a room at home. First, the surfaces are cleaned. Then, the workers mask off the areas that must not be painted. The paint shop foreman, Wang Zisheng, he works for 8 hours a day in a protective suit, usually in sweltering conditions. But despite this, working here is his dream job.
I really like working with paint. I like the smell. Coating the parts with paint is a great job. I can take a product with a rough surface and improve it step by step until it's perfect.
Priming. If the workers do a sloppy job, the vehicle won't be properly protected against corrosion at the spots that receive too thin a coat, rusting excavators. This would be a disaster for the Chinese company's image. Reliability and performance are paramount. The workers have just 8 minutes. Then, the section moves down the line to receive its actual finish. The priming has left some minor blemishes. Foreman Wang's people rectify them in just 40 seconds. Now comes the most difficult part. They have just 10 minutes to give the undercarriage a perfect black paint job. Precision work under extreme conditions, in 40-degree heat and with a respirator.
The most important thing is that the spraying nozzle is always kept perpendicular to the surface and at a distance of 20 to 30 centimeters. If it gets too close, the layer of paint will be too thick. If it's too far away, the coat will be too thin. The painters must work very accurately to ensure the thickness of the coat is just right.
If too thin a coat is applied, the slightest scratch will allow the primer to show through. If it's too thick, the material cost across will creep up and reduce the all-important margin. A few years ago, this operation was automated for a short period, but the management decided to remove the robots again. They worked too imprecisely in this case, and as a consequence, were replaced by humans. The massive parts hang from 2 chains, swinging back and forth slightly. The robots couldn't compensate for this with sufficient accuracy.
I use this gauge to check the work. I press it firmly against the surface and check the scale to see how much paint has adhered at which point. The paint layer here is 125 micrometers thick. According to specification, it should be between 80 and 140. That means that this product is acceptable.
The parts are now painted. The excavator will soon be brought to life. At one of the most modern production lines in the world, working non-stop, time pressure, final assembly for the high-tech monsters. But how do the freshly painted parts get to the assembly building without getting wet? The Chinese solved this problem by building a tunnel. 120 meters long, 10 meters deep. It connects Building 2 with Building 3. This is where the final assembly line is located. A new excavator is produced here every 10 minutes. At the end of the tunnel, one of the most modern temporary storage facilities in the world. And it's also the start of the final assembly line. The 10-meter-high warehouse ensures a constant supply of components. There's space for 20 parts on each side. A detailed schedule indicates which part is needed when. The fully automated crane then carries the elements from their storage location to the production line. What makes the Lingang Mega Factory unique? The final assembly line allows the Chinese to not only manufacture a large number of excavators, but different models too, all on the same assembly line, depending on demand. Chief Engineer Xu Bin has a comprehensive overview. This display is updated every few minutes. Everything is recorded, every serial number, and the sequence of models.
This shows us how many parts are being delivered on this day and how many excavators we actually have to produce. Look here. The number varies from day to day. That shows the number on the third day of the week, this year on the fourth. We can monitor every detail of the manufacturing process, and we have the rate of production under control at all times.
The 4-ton undercarriage must first be turned over. This used to require 4 assembly workers and took 5 minutes. And industrial accidents were unfortunately not uncommon. Today, this task is performed by a robot in just 50 seconds. The workers can now install the idlers for the track system. More than 3,000 screws pass through each worker's hands each day in order to manufacture up to 50 new excavators. Final assembly, robots and human specialists working in perfectly coordinated synergy. The Mega Factory is home to 375 million euros of heavy robotic machinery. The tracks will later run over these rollers. They must be able to maintain their grip on inclines of 70% when on site. An assembly error at this station could put the life of the excavator operator at risk. The time has come for the tracks to be mounted. Wrapped around 2 large idlers and 9 small track rollers. "49 interlocked track links on each side will later keep the 23-ton machine on course at a speed of up to 6 kilometers per hour. On production line 2, a team is working in parallel on the superstructure. The production schedule must be strictly adhered to here as well, in order to meet the immense daily production figures. Several dozen black and yellow cab housings await installation. The workers first install the interior fittings of the cabs. 1 hour of manual work for the seat, control equipment, and electronics. This is the all-important operator interface. Directly behind the driver's seat, a component that sets new standards on the global market. A highly intelligent black box. The high-tech device records all key performance data from the superstructure during operation. Engine parameters, fuel consumption, oil pressure of the hydraulic system. If the values deviate too greatly from the set points, an alarm is triggered. This is transmitted in real time to the control center, thousands of kilometers away. To Kunshan in the northwest of Shanghai. All of the data from the vehicle is collected in Kunshan, from all over the world, around the clock. Pan Ruigang is proud of this technology. At peak times, up to 500,000 Sany vehicles are online. His team detects technical problems immediately, usually before the driver operating the excavator does, irrespective of the continent they're on.
We have a complete overview here and can take action ourselves. This is a huge advantage. If the parameters for an excavator are unusual, a red alarm is triggered. For example, if there's a problem with the oil tank, our colleagues then get in touch with the customer by telephone or via the internet and inform them of the situation. As a result, we can provide better customer service than our competitors.
A big advantage in the battle for an increased share of the market. But the Chinese want to impress customers with their innovations as well as their service. In Lingang, the development department is continually testing new features. The excavator of the future. What will it look like? This red test model is also an SY215, but it's equipped with the latest generation of special high-tech equipment. The key new feature, the excavator can be remotely controlled. The driver can control around 1,000 different movement sequences by joystick, including from a great distance. The big advantage? Excavators like this can be deployed in environments that are very strenuous for people, or even life-threatening. The driver's seat of the special edition model SY215E remains completely empty. Sany provided similar machines to help with the cleanup work in Fukushima. Thanks to remote-controlled excavators, no drivers will have to subject themselves to radioactivity or other hazards in future. In extreme situations like this, the Chinese can even control the machines from a very long way away. A cab, an excavator operator, and a virtual reality headset. Not much more is needed to control the 23-tonner. During testing as here, the excavator of the future is located just a few meters away. But in an emergency, the operator can control an excavator elsewhere in the world from his cab in Lingang, and if necessary, on a completely different continent. The only prerequisite? 5G network coverage in the area of deployment. It's then possible to control the vehicle in real time from anywhere on Earth. back to production line 2. The clock is ticking. SY215 must be finished in 4 hours. The workers install the seat directly in front of the black box. Key components are installed in the superstructure every 10 minutes. The hydraulic pump. It supplies the arms and shovel with an oil pressure of 300 bar. This enables the excavator to lift weights of 1.5 tons. The cab, air conditioning system, all-round view, fully soundproofed. Operator safety is a key consideration for Sony and for the clients. A Japanese Isuzu 5-liter engine. Power output 128 kilowatts. Finally, the superstructure is finished. The trickiest and most dangerous stage of the final assembly lies before. The 2 production lines are united. Undercarriages and superstructures arrive at 10-minute intervals.